Ready or not, here I come now. Let's play hide and seek. Prepare to be caught. Here I come now. Let's play hide and seek. Riding on the playground, no one dares to make a sound. Round and round and round and round, no one wants to be first found.
Can you believe they get away with that kind of stuff? Did it sound like there was a cop sitting right there watching them do it? But you know what? Mobs like that. It's mob mentality anymore. That's how things are getting done viciously and without repercussions. It's because there's so many of them that they can't 100% pinpoint the exact people, persons, whatever. Just like the fights over at, Moscow and, Pullman. It's on both of them, so there, V. I said it, didn't I? Your campus is just as bad as Moscow, and they're both pretty bad. And there's just, other campuses, yeah, they're bad. I'm not saying that all campuses don't have all that stuff happening, because they do. They definitely do. It just shines way brighter over there. Darker, I guess is what I should say. Because it's, how many kids... My cat's playing right now. She's going nuts. I've got to get her tired before I put her to bed. So I'm outside with the cat toy. You think about the kids prior to the Idaho4. You've got Hannah, you've got Hudson, and you've got way more before that. There's definitely a lot more. There's lots of stories out there, and, it's... Well, let's not forget Katie Vano, too. We can't forget her. But it's, you can't forget any of them. None of them. They all are important. Everybody's important. Some are more important than others. Like if we're going to have someone out there doing this to people, I don't feel that those people are as important at all. But they're important to somebody. And that's why letting them get away with this, whoever's letting them do this, they're not making them any better. They're taking them down. It's like little kids, they want to be. They really do. They want to have that. They want that discipline, and there's a need for discipline. That's part of this world. That's part of learning. That's part of growing up, and just like manners and just the normal stuff that we used to have. What happened to that? What happened to do unto others as you want them to do unto you? And I always add at the end, unless you don't like that kind of thing, which, I get, but it's still basically the same thing, And by doing to others as you want them doing to you, that doesn't mean like, well, I go out and I do this, and it's, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to do unto others as, if I want them to do unto me, whatever. Then that's different. That's different. We're talking, humane. We're talking, manners. We're talking civil. We're talking being just civil. There it is right there. This civilization is no longer civil to each other. Why? I mean, I know it's easier to do things, get away with it, with the internet and all that kind of stuff. But what makes a person feel the need to do that? Why has it become so rampant and so... Why are there so many rabid people? That's how it feels like. They're rabid. They're wild dogs. Just taking a bite out of anything they can get their teeth into. And then ripping them out a chunk of it and then just turning and running off and never looking back. Like water rolling off a duck's feathers, I almost said fur. It's like, really, seriously? I mean, I'm not saying that gaming is bad. I mean, to a certain extent, I think is bad. And certain things for young people that shouldn't be playing certain games. I mean, I don't think some of the adults should be playing certain games. But there's no repercussions in there. You go around, you drive around, you off this person, you off that person, you throw them in the trunk, then you go ditch them in whatever, down by the riverbank or something. I don't know. I've never played those games, so I just hear about them. But, what's done is done. The game's over. You start all over, and they're back. Those people are back again. They're not gone forever. And that's the thing, is there's no... they're not... the reality isn't there. It's like it's a moot part of their brain. I don't know what it is. It's nuts though. And I don't know. I was listening. This is really weird. My cousin is a smarty farty, man. That guy is smart. I've never been anybody that smarter than him ever. And he's a sweetheart. He's a really nice guy. But he is a nice guy. We were driving somewhere one time, and he was playing this podcast for me. And I wish the guy's name was two first names. I can't remember what it was, but two first names. Anyway, it was about this company where this guy worked. He was doing the interview with, and he was the groundskeeper. He did the landscaping and all that stuff at this particular bigwig IT company type place. And one day, either a server or something broke down, and they couldn't get a hold of anybody. And one guy was outside, and he was just like, "Oh my God, I don't know what we're going to do," And he says, "Why? What you need?" This landscaper said, "Why? What you need?" And the guy said, "Oh," and he kind of mentioned a little bit of it. He said, "Oh, well, tell me a little bit more." He said, I can help you." He went in and he fixed it and even bettered it, and he was hired like on the spot. And so this is this guy telling these stories, and one of the stories was about video games that the government started doing these video games and okaying these things because in some countries they don't okay these things. You can't get these things. I mean, they're mature audience only. They're banned. You know that kind of thing. But here it's a free for all. And what he said is that they're starting them out young for a reason. And my cousin looked at me. He's like, "You just got it, didn't you?" I said, "Yes." "Oh my God, seriously?" And he's like, "Yeah." So it is them learning how to fight. We were putting the children through boot camp, but at home. They're becoming soldiers at home, so that when something happens, everything's going to be AI, and these gamers will be soldiers. I mean, they already are soldiers, some of these kids and, teens. And I mean, my nephew played from the time, I mean, he loved it, and he still plays. I mean, he does work, there for a while. I don't think he did very much, but he's got a really good job now and he works. But you couldn't get him away from him. And he actually had one, I don't know if this happened other times, but I know one time in particular, he had something happen to him because he sat for so long with his legs bent, and he was only young. He was young. I'm trying to remember what it was, but he ended up having to go to the hospital and everything. It was pretty bad. It's something about the blood rushing back in after you've been sitting for so long, and you stand up or something or other. Anyway, there's all sorts of things that come out of that kind of thing, right? But anyway, he was going on about this creating these soldiers, and that he's saying, well, we're teaching AI everything they know. And so they're soaking it up because that's what they do. They just absorb. They want to learn. And so when this Idaho4 thing, I don't know how many months into it was, but I just got to think to myself, oh my God, are we teaching? Is this a learning thing for AI because of the two sides and why there's two sides? What is the emotions behind it? What are the non-emotions behind it? What are the what makes each group click, so on and so forth. And it makes a lot of sense. And anyway, what this guy was also saying, he says, well, one thing he says, it's AI is cool to a certain point. He says, but AI is AI, and AI is a robot. It's man-made. He says, but when they learn the way that they learn from us, they also learn deceit, trickery, lies, like gaslighting, the works. They learn that as well. And that he says, and don't think that they're not going to, just like the Big Bang Theory, when there was all these people and they were all fighting and everything, and so this big bang blew up, and then all of them were different, denominations, put them, here, there, and so it's, spread it out, so they couldn't speak, or they couldn't, all different languages, so they couldn't communicate, so they couldn't fight or whatever. I don't know the gist of it, but that's kind of what he was saying. I mean, I'm not a philosopher or anything like that. Definitely, you guys obviously get that. I'm sure there's ones out there that are like, oh God, for sure, but that's you, so that's okay. You probably are philosopher of your own world. But he said that's what's going to happen with the AI. He says the AI are going to get to a point where they're going to have their own religion. They're going to have religious wars, and they're going to fight amongst themselves. And when the ones that taught them, that trained them, that educated them, disagree with what they're doing, they will turn on them, because that's the way of the world. That's what man has always done. And I was like, wow, that is, I mean, it literally, like right now, just talking about it, just makes my stomach just, more of my stomach, I feel sick to my stomach right now, because I'm just imagining these long-legged, alien-y looking type AI things, the machine type ones, not the real looking type people that are AI, which, God, have you seen some of those lately? Oh my God. Well, just look at the ones you get on CapCut. I mean, you can do CapCut and look at all the ones that are on, doing the YouTube ones right now. I mean, like Translucent, doing her thing. And I mean, there's other channels out there that do it too. I mean, there's lots of them. But you don't know who's who anymore. I mean, it was bad enough not knowing who is who when they were a human, but now we have to wonder about AI. Whoa, that's nuts. That is I can't say I ever thought I'd see the day of this, right? And I think back to like what the Odyssey show with the and things like, and the Star Wars and the future type things, and it's like, wow, this is like what it is. It's actually doing that. It's actually going into these phases. But the ones that really freak me out are the Thunderdomes, Escape to New York, Escape from New York, things like that. Things where, because it's going to happen. And that's why there's property, that's why there's land wars, that's why there's water wars and all that stuff. Because water, that's going to be the most fought over, I believe, when the time comes, because everybody needs water, right? And that's going to be what is the commodity that's going to be stolen, rationed, just gouged, to the prices gouged up so bad, to the point where many people won't be able to have water. And so I'm sure that there's probably going to be a synthetic water out there. There already kind of is, in a way, the kind that it's not really, you add it to a drink, but it's that stuff that makes it thick for people that can't, that choke on water, that's like really, usually older people, that's really runny. They give them mix this water with this stuff, and it makes it thicker. Oh God, it would just it just had to chill up when I thought about it, because I had a friend a person I was taking care of that had to have that, and she just hated it. But it just, yuck. It seems like it would taste weird, but she said it didn't taste any different. But it felt so weird that it seemed like it tasted different, right? You know what I mean? It's like when you go to, you got your cookies there, and you got your glass of milk, and you go reach for the milk, and it's orange juice, and you're like, what the hell? That's kind of like she felt with this thing. In fact, she used that exact analogy. She was funny. But just like those kids, and it's already happening. So that mob mentality, those kids, those young kids, growing up, I maybe knew one, maybe two that would even maybe, think about something like that, entertain it, but not do it. But that whole mob of kids that did that rode up to that Beverly Hills, nonetheless. So they're already, well, I don't know if they are, I don't know, living in that area, or if they came from somewhere else or whatever, but it's just, any mob's bad. Any mob is not good. Unless it's a flash dance mob, and then sometimes those are actually bad too. If you know what I mean. But just a mob mentality is definitely not good. It's very scary. And I believe that's what's going on with the fraternities and the sororities. It's easy to do, you and not only is it easy to do when you've got, your backing there with your brothers and your sisters, but you also have your parents and your grandparents and the university backing you to the fullest, 100%. Because let me tell you, if that university wasn't backing those kids, there would have been talking. But by backing, I mean, you keep your mouth shut, they know what you're doing, like that kind of backing. But also, loading them up all with lawyers and all that kind of stuff, because all fraternities have lawyers, hands down. Well, you have to have a lawyer there, don't you, or a notary or somebody when you sign that you sign the documentation. I would assume that would be. I could be wrong. Maybe they just spit on it. I don't know. Maybe they cut a little slice and do like the blood thing. I don't know. I wouldn't doubt that either. And to those of you, it's really, really, really hard for me to go to the place where the ritual stuff is happening, or that kind of stuff, because it's just so hard for me to think about that. But you know what? It's happening every single day. And it's happening in different ways. You don't think that it's a ritual, what they do to the children after they kidnap them, and they do what they want to them, and then they undo them. You don't think that's what's called a ritual? That is a ritual. And these rituals are only getting stronger. They're getting bigger. The numbers are growing. And they feel untouchable. strong, powerful, elite. There's mob mentality on YouTube as well. And it's really showing up in this case. And you have to think about, certain creators who invade your content and, talk about it. Some of it, might have gotten a little, I might have been wrong about this, or, but it wasn't in my intention to wrong about anything. And I do, say I'm speculation. It's in my opinion, all that stuff. Car, squirrel. But it's my opinion, and it's my speculation, it's my channel. And so they decide to come up and do their little bit from my content. So this person always uses other people's contents. There's never anything of their own. They have to use other people's contents, right? I mean, like we all do. We all use other people's content, but we're not always, it's just using a clip of it or whatever. We're not just taking it just to be mean to them, just to discount them, just to discredit them or whatever. And they're discrediting on their own opinion and speculation, because these people don't know. They're not, nobody knows. So here's this person doing this to you, right? And then they acquire this mob of people that go along with them and agree with them for one reason or another. Maybe they believe that, maybe they, who knows? We all think something different, which is the only way to go, because this world would be so boring without everybody, with the same opinion and speculation the whole time. Oh my God, it'd be so boring. Same, eating the same thing. It'd be like, God, how bland is that? Of course, mine wouldn't be, because I'd be all spiced up. But anyway, it's another story. Oh, thanks, Man Maven, for showing me your spicy cupboard. It was so cool. I loved it. In fact, it looks a lot like mine. I liked it a lot. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you a lot. I really do. Don't talk about other creators. We just, we may say, I wish, things were different on YouTube or things like that, and wish people stay in their lane. But typically we don't even mention names, because it's not necessary, because everybody knows who the heck's doing it, right? No one needs to mention any names. And not only that, but that those people are mentioning the names. We don't need to. They're bullying names so everybody knows who they are. That's just the way it is. And like I said, they are calling others out on their content that they put out on their own channel, which is their own opinion and speculation and all that stuff, to call them basically liars, only to say that their opinion or speculation is the truth. How does that work? I'm not really sure, but that seems a little what, honey? Do you want to go in? Do you want to play some more? Like this? Yeah, to play. Oh my God, she hits this thing so hard I think she's going to flip it over sometimes. But at least she's really tired. She sleeps really good. Then I can get some more work done. Kind of hoarse today, but horsey. But, like I said, I don't really like to give these people too much attention, because they just eat it up, and that's what makes them do it more and more and more, because they're getting the attention. Whether it's good attention or bad attention, it doesn't matter. In fact, bad attention, usually they get more energy out of it and, more drive for them. But it's interesting to me how that works. And with the mob, because basically that's right there. It's right, it goes mob mentality. Right there again. Let's pick on this person we don't even know, because somebody else that we listen to is picking on them. And so we should too, You know, yeah, that's just a weird thought to me. Very, very weird thought. I've never been one to join groups, you know, things like that, or because of the way it feels to me. And this right here, YouTube's really opened my eyes to a lot of things, good and bad, but mostly good. I will say it's mostly been good. And I don't know if that's because that's the only, well, I try to only let that part in and not give the other part attention. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes I'm human, you know, sometimes it happens. In fact, I made a video just for her the other day, and it's really funny, and I really want to put it up. It's only about 4 minutes long, but it's pretty cute. It made me laugh. And it's, you know, just her talking on her channel. It's one I didn't even know she did, because I'm not subscribed to her. I don't go watch her. Her stuff doesn't pop up. But I'm trying to remember why it was the other day. Well, actually, her stuff does pop up, but not a lot. In fact, I didn't even know. The only reason I knew that she was saying anything about me, and it had been like 2-3 weeks in before this person even said anything, and it was a sub who sent me $100, literally, and she said, in her own words, F Viviana. And I'm like, and I said to her, I wrote back, that was a dollar thing, because I don't know how to send a message. All you can send is like these little emoticons, these emojis or whatever. So I looked it up because I needed to, you know, I wanted to know what the heck she was talking about, because I didn't know. I thought, oh, what's going on now? Who is this? Someone, you know, is this another Emma, or who knows? You know, I was like, what? And that's when, I don't remember if I asked somebody. I don't remember how I found out. It wasn't for another. Oh, no, it wasn't her, because, oh, who was it? Oh, I know who it was. It was another creator who actually I talk to a lot. We go through spurts, or we'll talk a lot, and then won't talk for a while, but it's all good. She's the one that brought it up to me. And I was like, what? Who's that? I didn't even know who it was. And I went and I saw that, and I was like, what? What's going on? Why is she doing that? I mean, that's just, you know, that's Gak's little sister or something. I don't know. Well, I don't know how old Gak is. Maybe they're more than that. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't care. Anyway, so I did make a little video, and I might just post it. It's not, you know, her face isn't on there, her name's not on there, but people definitely, I'm sure, will know that that's who I'm talking about. And I'm not being mean at all. I'm just, she's talking in her, it's like her own, it's the video she put out about me, about the Wazoo, the enrollment being down, right? And I'm going to have to go back and listen, because I don't remember saying the ritual thing. I mean, I know she changes my words a lot, which really is not cool, because I'm sure that these people that she's saying, you know, talking about me to, I bet you that they don't go watch them. You know, if they're, you know, loyal to her, then they're loyal to her. And I understand that. I get that. And so they probably don't even watch, or have never heard of me, or aren't loyal to me and watch all my stuff and know and get the gist of who I am. Because if they did, I highly doubt they'd be saying that stuff to me. In fact, I doubt they would. But, you know, everybody's different. Which, like I said, is good, because if we were all the same, we'd all be standing on the same side of the earth, and then we'd flip it, and then we'd all be gone, and we'd have to start all over again. You know what I'm talking about. You know, like flipping a pancake and it ends up on the ceiling. Then it just drips down. You have to clean it all up. You know? You know what I'm talking about? Have you guys ever done that? Well, I have. And one year we had a food fight before Thanksgiving dinner ever got started, and there was literally no food left. It was on every wall. It was bad, and it was not a fun food fight. It was, I don't remember how it started, and I was, of course, I'm the one hiding, because I am not a fighter. I don't remember what it was, but it got pretty out of hand, and I literally, I'm hiding. I wasn't even participating. I was just hiding because that's just not my thing. Not my thing at all. Yeah, I should have grabbed a plate while they were in the midst of all of it and went back to a room and just ate dinner all by myself. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Anyway, no. All right, I love you guys. I'll talk to you. Catch you on the flip side. Catch you on the. Let's all stand our ground, and we'll stand on the other side so it doesn't flip over. We don't lose anybody, right? Okay. We'll get our feet planted in there. All right. You guys have a good night. Have a great weekend.